In this video, I'll talk about two types of formulas that credit cards use when they determine your service fee. Both of them are based upon simple interest, which is the principal times the rate times the time, but they'll define the principal and the time differently. Now, in the ending balance method, the principal will just be at the end of the billing cycle, whatever your balance is then. And time is always 1/12, so 1 month is 1/12 of a year, and all months are created equal. And as far as this technique is concerned. Now, the other way, the average daily balance, the principal is the average balance over all the days of the month. So if you've got 30 days in the month, you add up the balance at the end of each day, and you divide by 30 to get an average. And then the time is the number of days in the month divided by the number of days in the year. So months are not created equal. Some are shorter than others. Okay, so here's an example. And I'll use the same numbers in both. So we've got somebody who doesn't use their credit card very much. Just makes life simple for us. And I'm just going to, for the sake of simplicity, assume that their billing cycle starts on the first day of the month. So, and we're going to use an interest rate of 18%. So this person at the start of April has a balance of $200 from the previous month. On April 6th makes a charge. April 18th makes a payment. April 25th makes a charge. April 30th makes a charge. And in this column, you'll see the ongoing running balance. Now, I'm not, for this technique, I don't use the other column. You'll see that in the other technique. So all I just say is at the very end, the person owes $200, so the principal is that ending balance is $200. Time is 1/12. We say service charge is the same formula for simple interest, that principal, times the rate, times the time, and that comes out to be an even $3. Now, they'll round off to the nearest penny if it isn't even. Now, using the same charges and the same payments, but under the other method, and still the same interest rate, I'm going to use this other column to keep track of how many days I have that balance. So, the start of April, I have a rollover from the previous month of $200 that I owe, or that this person owes. And since no charge was made until April 6th, then on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, they owe $200. Remember, we need to add up all the each of the 30 days what their ending balance is. So we'll keep track. On 5 days the ending balance was $200, and then we made the charge, and then 6th through 17th, that's a total of 12 days, the balance was $300, and then 18th through 24th, a total of 7 days, the balance was $100, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, the total of 5 days, the balance was $150, and there was one more day that the balance was $200. So, I'm not really going to add up 200 plus 200 plus 200 plus 200 plus 200, 300 plus 300 plus 300, etc. I'm not really going to do that. I'm going to be a little bit smarter than that. If you add the number to itself several times, it's the same thing as multiplying. So 200 plus 200 plus 200 plus 200 plus 200 is the same thing as 200 times 5. And this 312 times is the same thing as 300 times 12. And the 100 7 times 100 times 7, 150, 5 times 150 times 5. The 200 once, 200 times 1. So this really is all 30 numbers added together. I'm just been a little bit smarter about it. And then, because it's an average, I'll have to divide by 30, because I've got 30 numbers. And this comes out to be $208.33, and I rounded there. And remember, here, time, they do say some months are longer than others, so time is 30 days in April, divided by 365 days. I'm assuming it's not a leap year. And so the service charge is the same basic formula, principal, rate, time, except the principal and the time are defined differently, but it's the same formula. And this time it comes out to be $3.08. Now, the two ways can come out to be different amounts. So let me give you some suggestions. Here, since everything just depends upon the ending balance, if you've got an electronic, if you've got online access, make the payment, pay it off right before the end. And then, with an ending balance of 0, you'll have 0 times something times 1/12, and the service charge will be $0. Over here, you can't get away. You'll always have some service charge if you got some activity going on. But the smarter way is to pay it off as soon after you make the charge as possible. And that way, kind of like this one here, that 200 only got 1 day. So, for example, what if on the 2nd I made a payment of $200? Then this original $200 would only go for 1 day. Then I'd have 0 times 4 days. And what if on the 7th I made a payment of $100 to clear that out? Okay, so I could clear everything out. Now, usually your credit card will have something saying your charge is in effect that day that you made it, but the payment is not in fact until the end of the day that you make the payment. So actually, even if you say here you are at 300, even if you made the payment on the 6th, it was still, that 300 will still count for 1 day. You can't get it down to 0 days the way that they work things. Okay, that's it for the two different ways that, at least that I know of, to compute a service charge on a credit card.